So I thought I'd show you how I'm going to do these potatoes, and I'm going to kind of like form a little greenhouse using some black bins. I'm fortunate enough that I can get seaweed, but you don't have to have seaweed. The seaweed is acting in the bottom of the bin simply as a moisture retainer. Then you can use any sorts of bins. These gorilla tubs, they're ideal because they're big enough to do a potato and not too heavy to carry. But you'll always get dustbins for free. And usually they're dustbins that have got something wrong with them, they're broken or something, and people throw them out. Just drill a hole in them. You can just see the daylight coming through there, look. Just to let the moisture out. Then you need some horsey poo, like so. Then I've got compost that has come from last year's compost heap. Then I've got watering can with a spray on, and in that is a 10-to-1 mix of male wee and water. Oh, and there's another bin. Oh, bit of polythene to go over the top, because we're making like a greenhouse. You could put glass over the top. I don't like glass on allotment. If it gets broken, you can't really eat what's underneath. Or anything to form a greenhouse with your bin. Oh, and of course the important thing is your potatoes. Now they are some rejected from last year's, and I've got a label. So first things first, we're going to put in there some seaweed. Now the reason for the seaweed, we've put some bits of crock in. In fact, this would do another piece. Just another piece across that gap there, so that it'll still drain. Then, in with the seaweed, any amount of seaweed. That seaweed, when it breaks down all slushy and really wet, and that would be a source of moisture. And that'll be a source of moisture. If I don't get to water them, it can survive a few days, or even longer. Right, so there's my seaweed in. Now that's up about a foot, but that's going to go down quite a lot. Then some horsey poo, and what's going to happen? It don't hurt to mix that in, just the top of that in a little bit. Right, then beak. And then the compost, not much, just enough to make a bed. Right, now then, I think we might move in a little bit closer now. There we go, because now it's time for the tater. But before we put the potatoes in, we give it a spray. And as I say, that is male wee and water, 10 parts. And that will start to break down and make heat. Then I might even put 2 potatoes in here. 1 potato, 2 potato, 3 potato, no, that's it. Right, then some more compost on top. Careful not to break those shoots off. You can see I put a bit of sand in that, and that is to make it just that little bit more loamy, and a little bit more. And what we're going to do, now that'll do, I think. We'll keep our eye on that, and as soon as they start shooting, then we will gradually build that up, but it was also sink down. Then our polythene. A giant elastic band would be dead useful, wouldn't it? Except for I haven't got one. Well, you can invent anything you want, can't you, for getting it round. You could just put a piece of glass on the top, come to that. Now I've got a figure of 8 knot in there, so when I pulls that tightens up. And then tighten it so. So what I've done is I've made a little greenhouse. There you go. Now I'm going to put that in the sun, or kind of in the sun. It's going to be on the end of my allotment where the sun comes first thing in the morning, and it's there right away through till not quite sunset. So what do you think of that then? Now I'm going to show you some I've done earlier. Right, here we are, go into the greenhouse, and there are the ones that I did probably only 3 weeks ago. And as you can see, that one's not showing yet, but they are just showing, look. So this one here, I could squeeze a little bit more compost round that one, but I might leave it for another week or so and then just top them up. And then come March, if there isn't any frost, they can go outside, but if not, they will simply stay in here. And then when I'm looking for some nice new potatoes to go with the first fish I catch of the season, that's what I should do. I should tip them out. And then what tips out tops up your raised beds. Hope that helps. Bye for now.